Yes. Hello, my name is Orpheus. That's not my real name, but I chose the name Orpheus because he is the mystic poet and warrior of ancient Greek myth. He travelled with Jason in search of the Golden Fleece, and when he played his lyre, he could bring all the animals of the world to heal. We create avatars that we want to become, a higher version of myself that I wanted to exsanguinate into the world. And at the time, several years ago, I thought this one suitable. And besides, I've always been intrigued by the Orphic, that which is mysterious and entrancing, and beyond ordinary understanding. And I come to you across the black mirror of your phone or computer. This is an introduction for the purpose of making my statements known and laying claim to some mental real estate in the cesspool of social media. The phone in your hand and everything that comes out of it is a tool, and its developments cannot be stopped. And while it's making some of us deranged and others of us with the brains of pliable putty, someone has to wield it for good. So that might as well be me. I don't know whether to talk to you as if you're clever or as if you're dumb. If we were to have a conversation face to face, I would be able to gauge whether the following subject matter is of interest. However, I shall proceed on the assumption that since you have found this video, it is. Following strict authenticity as a principle of being, I will proceed somewhat unfiltered in my opinions in the ambition that they will create resonance, despite us being separated by space and time and yet simultaneously connected by a magic box. I wish to cultivate a mode of thinking in you. I shall not give you thoughts, but a compass, which reveals a means of thinking that is already within you. I am at the same time a ghost ship and a lighthouse. I've lived a life that is entirely unrelatable for most people. Have you ever had the feeling of being in the room, surrounded by people, but for some reason you're on the other side of a pane of glass from them? It's like you're right there, but so far away. A quiet little voice saying to you that something isn't quite right and nothing is really as it seems. That feeling has driven me my entire life. Perhaps for some, destiny is the eye of God looking at you, and if you look back and lock eyes, you create an unbreakable tether that pulls you towards it. And at that point, you follow it unceasingly wherever it needs you to go. A scary thought to be governed completely by your destiny. But there is something to be said for establishing a relationship with it. I have found it to be that truth is inherently elusive. The nature of such is that it can only be explained in roundabout ways. If you get too close to the target, the artifact sees. Frodo carries the ring, but he shouldn't put it on. Secrets can only be heard by straining one's ears. If you try to look directly at the squiggly line in your eye fluid, it flutters away. The whippoorwill and the swift sleep, eat, bathe, and mate on the wing. When they land, it is rare, and only for a very short time. Truth is like this. We get a glimpse of her, but only for a moment, because she is constantly in motion. Odin is mercurial, and if he wants sight, you must give up an eye. This is the only way the game can be played. So with that said, we'll begin. You are a luminous being, and your capacity for luminosity needs to increase. For the sake of your own soul and for the sake of the entire world experiment that is unfolding here. Luminosity. Total amount of radiant electromagnetic power emitted by an object. It feels to me like the world is an orchestra, and we're playing Wagner, perhaps. You're a member of the orchestra, and I would say right now in this symphony we're a part of, we're nearing an enormous crescendo. The tumult is building, the hordes are clamoring, the cymbals are tingling, the atmosphere is effervescent. There's a fizz. Can you hear it? At a performance's peak, the crescendo will make or break the experience of the composition. If done poorly, if the sound is discordant, the orchestra falls apart. The timpani becomes unrhythmic, the fragile reed of the oboe splits, the violinist's string is severed, eyes frantically look for the conductor who is nowhere to be seen. Where is the conductor? Look in the mirror. Maybe you're the conductor. To lead the world's symphony to its cacophonous pinnacle, each mellifluous melody must be woven into a divine harmony that can only be brought about by those luminous enough to do it. To be luminous is to be full of life, to be full of essence, to be full of divinity, to fill your cup up and have it runneth over, to be more than just a drop in the universe, but rather to bring forth the whole universe in a single drop. What needs to be done now is the building of a weltanschauung, and this channel is the beginnings of that. I'll repeat the word, it's weltanschauung. This is a German word, and it means a comprehensive conception of the world. But perhaps more accurately, it means a fundamental cognitive orientation for an individual or a society. It is the compass, it is the North Star, it is the X marks the spot on the map. The reason for this is because it's fundamental and implicit in the very mechanics of reality. Because once the end result of a thing has been formed and secured with furious delight and intensity, then all the steps along the way will be secure as well. Now, this weltanschauung is something I've developed over 12 years of thinking. And because I'm a fastidious little bee, I have refrained from sharing it until I was extremely sure about its veracity and its efficacy. In order to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt, you have to test it, and so this is what I did. And if I can make it as erudite as possible, the weltanschauung is this. Your life and all of reality is a myth. This world is a cosmic comedy drama that is unfolding in real time. From one angle, this story appears to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But from another vantage point, you notice that it is never-ending, rather cyclical, ever-repeating. The same storylines emerging over and over again. The details might differ, but the motifs and the themes are the same. Except each time it repeats, it gets more brutish, less refined, less articulate, less real. Each version a cheaper imitation of the last. They say the world is a simulation, but that begs the question, what is it simulating? There was an original story, an original state, an original awareness, and out of that, an original world. But we've lost that story, lost that state, lost that awareness, and lost that world. It is something we have forgotten, and my aim is to help us remember that which we forgot we knew. Because when we know something, we create all of the conditions to bring it about in the world. It becomes emergent in our morphic field. It becomes emergent in the imaginative capacity of the few, and if those few are sufficiently luminous, then this state and awareness will permeate into the collective mental attention of the masses, thereby materializing the original world through the infinite cause and effect chains that it triggers. This is the return of Hyperborea. And you, my friend, are a Hyperborean asleep in the halls of Amenti, dreaming this world. And it's time to lucid dream your waking reality. This is the myth.